Hey, welcome to this video by Creating a Family. I'm Dawn Davenport. I'm the director of Creating a Family, and today we're going to be talking about adoption fraud, or also known as adoption scams. We did a full 1-hour radio show on this topic on July 7, 2010, and you can listen or download to that show from our website, creatingafamily.org. I think it helps to start by talking about what we mean when we say adoption fraud. Adoption fraud can be perpetrated by a pregnant or supposedly pregnant woman who promises you her child, but she has no intention of following through. Interestingly, people assume that adoption fraud is always done for money, but that's not the case. Some women are simply looking for a connection, an emotional connection with somebody. So they aren't seeking money, they're seeking your time and your emotion and your connections. Some also consider it an adoption fraud when an expectant woman does not tell you the truth about risk factors that the child may have. For example, she may not tell you that she has taken drugs or drank excessive alcohol during the pregnancy. Adoption fraud can also be perpetrated by adoption agencies, by adoption attorneys, or adoption facilitators. For example, they might charge exorbitant fees outside of the norm, or they may promise you services and then don't follow through. Also, they might not disclose all the information they have about the child that adoptive parents might find useful and valuable. All those can be considered adoption fraud as well. Some of the warning signs for you to be aware of when you are when you're actually advertising or looking for a prospective birth parent. That's when adoptive families will be having to do some of their own screening. Your adoption agency and your adoption attorney should be helpful for you to do this. In fact, one of the things that you should be doing is immediately asking any pregnant woman or supposedly pregnant woman who contacts you to get in touch with your agency or your attorney. And if she doesn't immediately get in touch or agree to provide her phone number so that they can contact her, that would be a warning sign for you to be aware of. For an agency, one of the things you want to be aware of, or an adoption attorney or facilitator, is if they promise you too soon, too cheap, too quick, too healthy. Things like that. If it sounds too good to be true, as I said before, it probably is. If it's outside of what you're hearing other people are saying it's going to cost or how long they're going to wait, then you should be suspicious. If they promise you the child will have absolutely no health issues, nobody can make that promise, and they shouldn't be doing that. An agency another thing, if an agency tells you not to worry about the birth father who has yet to be told about the pregnancy, that's foolish, and you should be aware of that. If an agency or an attorney or a facilitator doesn't return your phone calls or your emails promptly, to me that's a warning sign. At this point, they should be returning. They are your aid, and they should be treating you as such. If you feel like you're being pushed too quickly to make a decision, be suspicious. This is a decision you're making for life, and you should be able to take a reasonable amount of time to make that decision. Now, if you wait too long, you may miss the opportunity. But if you feel like you're being pushed and you feel like your time you're asking for is reasonable, be suspicious. Also, be concerned if you are talking with a prospective birth mother and or birth father, and they seem overly fixated on money. Or if they're continually asking for cash to get them through some crisis, needing to pay the bills, needing to pay bus fare to go see a sick grandmother, or whatever, you should be suspicious at that point. Keep in mind that most states strictly control how much you can spend and how much money you can give to a birth parent, and for what reasons. Any violations of this may very well jeopardize this adoption. So make certain before give the birth parent any money that you have talked with your adoption agency or an adoption attorney. I would be very concerned about a prospective birth mother who procrastinates, as I mentioned, getting in touch with your agency. Also, one who will not immediately provide proof of pregnancy. And that proof of pregnancy should be wary if it's not specifically labeled with her name. For example, a sonogram. I have seen the case where the sonogram did not have the woman's name on it. Well, you should be concerned about that. If she procrastinates signing the medical release form, that you should be worried about. If she tells you that it's because she has not told her doctor of her adoption plans, that's also something to be concerned about. If she is serious about placing this child for adoption, she should not be hesitant at this point to be telling her doctor of these plans. If a pregnant woman immediately selects you to be her parent, be suspicious. This is probably the biggest decision she's ever going to make, and most pregnant women do not make it immediately. They take their time and they evaluate their options. And if she does not do that, then that is a major warning sign. Sometimes I tell people that if a pregnant woman will not accept counseling or go to a counselor or accept community services, that's a warning sign. And while I think that it is a warning sign, I would also say that some women truly feel like they do not need these services or do not need counseling. Maybe it's perhaps not a major warning sign, but it is an area of concern for me. And last but not least, I actually believe that adoptive parents can also be perpetrators of adoption fraud. And by that I mean when they do not tell the birth mother or birth parents the truth about what their intent are as far as the degree of openness. In other words, promising an expectant woman a certain degree of openness with no intention of following through with that degree. To me, that is fraudulent. Also, I have seen adoptive parents lie about themselves, paint themselves looking a lot better than they actually are, or just paint themselves differently than they actually are in hopes of attracting an expectant woman. And again, I feel like that is dishonest at the least and fraudulent at worst. I would strongly recommend that you go to our website. We have an entire page on adoption fraud. It's under Adoption Resources, and it's titled Adoption Fraud. And in there we have the top 10 tips for avoiding adoption fraud, as well as the top 10 warning signs for you to be aware of when talking with a prospective birth parent. Also, last but not least, let me encourage you to sign up for our weekly newsletter, which we send. We don't harass you. We don't send it all the time. We send it once a week. It's short, it's sweet. We tell you what our adoption videos, which adoption videos we have, are infertility videos, either one. We have recorded, as well as what that week's radio show topic is going to be, as well as every week we add numerous resources to our site, and we let you know about that. So please sign up, and you can sign up from any page of our website, which, as you've seen before, is creatingafamily.org. Thanks for joining us, and I truly hope this has been helpful for you. Bye.